What's up, everyone? DKRACK here. So what's up, guys? How are you all doing? Sorry, it's been about a week since I've uploaded a reaction. I apologize for that, but we're going to go ahead and check out 3 scary stories that happened while quarantining by Mr. Nightmare. So like always, go ahead and click the link in the description under original video. Go over and show Mr. Nightmare some love and support. Love his channel. Been watching his videos for a while. And guys, I'm gonna try to start something new here on my channel. So what I want to do, if you want to help support the channel and you want to pick the next video that I react to, click the first link down in the description, Streamlabs. So if you want to help support the channel and you want to pick a video for me to react to, click the link. The rules will be there. Just in your donation, leave the video link, your email, and your name in the message so I know who you are. So if I do a reaction for you, I'm able to shout you out in the reaction video and I know who you are. So again, if you want to help support the channel and you yourself as the viewer want to pick the next video that I react to, click the first link down in the description and I would appreciate it. Thanks for all the support, guys. With that, just no age restricted videos, and just try to pick a video for me to react to that's gonna be okay for YouTube. Nothing too extreme or nothing age restricted. So, but with that said, guys, let's go ahead and check out 3 scary stories that happened while quarantining by Mr. Nightmare. Let's go. Good old Mr. Nightmare.
With all this quarantining madness going on because of COVID-19, my family and I have fled New York State to our Massachusetts lake house to avoid contact with other people. The lake, which I will not name for safety reasons, has a bunch of houses surrounding it, and in the summer months it's full of boats and people barbecuing and drinking. But right now, in late March when I'm writing this, it's kind of a ghost town here, and it's weird seeing it like this here. Anyway, I wouldn't be here writing this if something didn't go wrong, right? My younger brothers, who I'll call Steve and Glenn, were out on...
I've always thought that's kind of weird, like social places or campgrounds or whatever, where like certain times of the year there's a lot of people, and then other parts of the year it's just totally dead, no one's there, total ghost town. I've always thought that to be a little weird.
the deck overlooking the lake with me. We were setting up the table for a game of beer pong, which we invited our dad to play with us so the teams would be even. The sky had reached that point after sunset where most of the sky was dark, but there was still that hint of orange on the horizon. The lake was calm and quiet, not a single boat, and all the neighboring houses seemed to be vacant. We're truly the only ones around still. Our deck has a fire pit, so we lit that for extra light as well as heat because it was chilly. The 4 of us were playing a game of beer pong, when in the middle of it, Glenn grabbed his phone and lowered the music to his portable speaker. He and Steve turned around to look over the deck to the grass below. My dad and I went over to see what they were looking at. Glenn said he heard something below us, and he could see someone walk under the deck. The deck doesn't have a stairway leading down. You have to go inside and downstairs.
Someone's down there, what the heck?
So my dad and I went downstairs and out the back door under the deck. There was nobody there. My dad called out a bunch of times to confirm this, and we went back upstairs. The thing is, Steve swore by it as well that he also heard someone speaking from under the deck. Regardless, we cut the game of beer pong short and went inside, making sure to lock the door. My mom and dad were up in their loft bedroom, while I was in the living room playing PlayStation. That's when it started. Loud, aggressive bangs on the sliding door.
Yo, what the
Accompanied with the bangs
heck?
was a man's shrieks and screams. Sounded like he was screaming for help.
Aggressive bangs and then some dude starts screaming? What? No. I'd be out of there.
The curtain to the door was shut.
I would be out of there. I'm
Couldn't see
sorry.
who it
I'm like,
was.
I'm gone.
Apparently everyone in the house heard it, because my brothers and parents came rushing to the living room. My dad yanked the curtain open to find himself face to face with some red-in-the-face man banging his fist on the glass, begging to be let in. He was claiming he was hurt and needed help. My dad asked, "Where are you hurt?" He didn't answer that though, He just kept repeating, "Let me in, I'm hurt." My dad then yelled to get out of here before we'd call the cops. He yanked the blinds shut and told us all to shut and lock our windows if they were open. We all stayed in the living room together for a couple hours, just to be safe. We had a movie on in the background as we talked, but eventually, with no other uninvited visitors outside, we all split off into our respective rooms for the night. I was browsing YouTube videos in my bed when it happened. The crash of shattering glass so loud it made
I knew it, the dude frickin' broke the window. No.
me jump out of my bed. My
No.
heart instantly started racing. I didn't know if I was the only one who heard it because I didn't hear my parents or brothers running out of their rooms. I picked up the phone and called my dad's cell. He picked up and whispered he heard it too, and to stay in my room and lock the door. I reminded him my door didn't have a lock. Of course, my room, while the biggest of my brothers, was the one room that didn't have a lock. He told me to hide in the closet and call my brothers while he called the cops. I heard footsteps outside my room in the living room area. I tiptoed to my closet and did my best to quietly open and close the door, but the damn hinges just had to squeak. I sat behind a big plastic bag and texted my brothers, who also heard the noise and each locked their doors. It was the most tense moment of my life in that closet. The bedroom door opened, and I could see through the strips in the closet door someone walk to my bed and sit at the edge of it. He then took off one of his shoes and started shaking it as if to get something out of his shoe.
This is weird.
He put his shoe back on, then his head actually turned to look at the closet door. I felt as though he was looking at me. There was just this silence for the longest time, until he finally spoke, saying, "I know you're in there. I'm sure your family already called the cops. I'm not sure what my next course of action should be." At that moment, I had to decide whether to stay in there or make a break for the door, and I chose the second option. I burst through the closet door screaming as some kind of adrenaline boost. I made it to the door, expecting him to lunge for me and grab me, but he didn't. I ran up to my parents' loft and banged on the door. My dad opened it and let me in. I waited with them until the cops entered through the freshly broken back door. Then we left the room to meet them. The man who was sitting on my bed was no longer in the house. We checked every closet under every...
This is one creepy dude. I'm sorry. This is one weird freaking dude. Like, who does this?
bed, every little crevice of the house. The cops recommended we tape a bunch of garbage bags over the door and shut the curtain, and also that we stay awake for the night. My dad stayed in the living room the whole night, and first thing in the morning, he ran to Home Depot to buy a glass pane to fix the door. We're still actively quarantining in this house a week later. I'll send updates if the man returns.
You imagine if that freaking creeper dude returned? Oh my god. That'd be creepy if he freaking returned.
I've been staying in my apartment in Jersey City during this coronavirus epidemic. My roommate has since gone home to Ohio to stay with her family during all of this, so I've been in the apartment alone. I've been mostly just watching new movies and shows. I try not to go out too much because my city is pretty bad right now. A couple days ago, I was running extremely low on food, so I had to make a mandatory grocery run. I went to the nearby Trader Joe's wearing a mask and gloves, which, including the insane line and limited stock, turned out to be a production. On my walk home in the dark, I realized the streets were even quieter than they were the last time I went shopping, just a week before. Suddenly, out from an alleyway, some guy wearing a mask and gloves approached me. He had a baby wrapped in a hoodie and small blanket in his hands. He seemed very sincere in asking me to let him take his son to my apartment real quick so he could change his diaper and feed him his food. He swore to me that he was clean.
Yo, something's fishy about that. Like, I'm sorry about your baby and if you're homeless or whatever, what's going on, but something. If someone asked me that to go to your apartment or house so they could change their kid, I'd be like, something's up here. Something's up.
And that he really
That's not a
needed
normal
this favor
question.
for just 5 minutes. That it was an emergency. Hearing the baby's little cries, and the fact that this man even had a child with him and just seemed sincere, the soft part of me agreed. I led him to my apartment building. It was only a short walk from there. We walked up the 3 stories to my apartment, and I let him inside, asking him.
That's messed up, though, that this guy, it sounds like something bad's gonna happen. This guy's using his baby, his little kid, in order to get into this person's house. That's what's messed up. He's freaking using his baby like that.
Closed the door behind him.
To make people feel bad for him.
Spot on the living room table for him to change his child's diaper and whatever. When I turned around, the man was like pacing around, or more like snooping around, I guess. He went into my kitchen to do God knows what. I called over to him that I set up the table for him to use. He didn't answer. I started getting confused. I walked to the kitchen and saw him looking around suspiciously, and what else I saw confused me. The man was standing with what I thought was his child, held in only one hand. It took me a second to understand. It wasn't a child. It was just some baby doll wrapped up in a blanket.
Oh no, this guy's crazy. It's a fake baby doll. Oh no, that's creepy.
I'm assuming one of those realistic ones that make the crying and moaning noises. The man looked at me and pulled out a gun from his right pocket. That's where things went from 1 to 100.
Gun? What?
He looked at me with a gun aimed at me and said something along the lines of, "I'm gonna take what I want and you're gonna stay in my sight." Of course, I had to say okay with a gun aimed at my head. I wondered if it could be a BB gun with a tip painted black, but even if it was, I doubted I could overpower him. I couldn't risk it. The man pulled out a big black bag from his backpack and filled it with valuables, including my wallet, some of my roommate's jewelry, kitchen valuables, my brother's Xbox, which he lent me, and my iPad.
Oh no.
It was sickening to watch, but
that would suck. It would suck to come home and think that someone robbed your house or apartment. That would suck in itself. But to have to sit there helpless and watch someone take your personal stuff like your phone, your computer, your Xbox, PlayStation, your laptop. Oh, that'd be hard to watch without wanting to freaking punch the person.
I was the most scared of him pulling the trigger of that gun. He filled his bag,
but it's not worth your life.
In it as well.
It's just
he left.
Physical things.
I called the cops first thing. They came and helped me in contacting the building owner to see the CCTV footage from the halls. Of course, upon seeing the footage, it didn't help much. The man's face was covered by a mask, making it near impossible to even discover who he was. All I can do is urge everyone to be careful, not to trust anyone.
I never thought of that, but during this whole coronavirus thing, it probably makes it a lot harder on police officers and a lot easier for criminals. Everyone's walking around with mask on. Now you can go into stores with a mask on. You're supposed to. Before, you weren't supposed to cover your face when you're in the gas station, Walmart, the store. Now you have to wear a face mask. So if you steal something, a lot higher of a chance they're not going to catch you because your face is covered. I never thought of that until now. And criminals probably love this whole virus thing because they can cover their mask, or they can cover their face, cover their mask. What the heck?
And stay indoors until all this is over. The past month, I've been quarantining in my apartment alone with minimal outside contact because of the virus. My apartment is the downstairs floor of a 2-family house. The upstairs occupant isn't the landlord, he's just another tenant. I'm actually decently acquainted with the guy. His name's Rico. To be honest, he's a bit odd though. Of course, I hadn't seen Rico because I've been quarantining. I do still have to wake up early in the morning though for work, which I report to on my laptop now. A week ago, Rico started making a lot of noise one night. Late night, actually. I was in bed. It was like past 12. I had to be up early. And all of a sudden, I just start hearing constant thumping noises coming from the upstairs level of the house.
What?
It sounded like Rico was stomping around in boots.
You okay? You okay, Rico?
I waited for it to hopefully end eventually, but it just kept going on and on and on. Over 20 minutes of the stomping. I was so frustrated that I got up to knock on his door outside. I knocked a few times loud enough for him to hear. He never answered. When I gave up and went back to my room though, thankfully the noise had stopped. I wasn't sure if he heard my knocks and stopped because of that or what, but but I didn't care much. I fell into a deep sleep for some time, till I awoke in my dark bedroom. The clock read 2:30 something. I didn't know what exactly woke me up at first. Then I realized it must have been the fact that the room was cold. And I realized my window on the opposite side of the room was open about a foot.
Is freaking Rico in your bedroom? No.
I got up and quietly shut it, looking around my room paranoid. I checked under my bed and in the closet. No one there. It's not like anyone could fit through that opening in the window, but someone actually went out of their way to open that, and that terrified me. I did a scope of the place with all the lights on, and I could confirm there was nobody hiding inside, so I went back to bed with one eye open. Then the noises upstairs started again, thumping and stomping. I couldn't take this anymore. It almost sounded like he was hitting the floor with a hammer or something. I went up to his door again and pounded on it, yelling his name as well. Once again, no answer. I went back inside.
What are you up to, Rico?
Deep for Rico's
I think
number.
Rico's up to no good.
I have it saved.
No
It was buried in that text
good.
conversation somewhere. When I found it, I called him. He didn't pick up the first time or the second, but on the third time, he picked up sounding confused and like he had just been woken up. I said in a rather annoyed tone that he needed to stop making the constant noises. He asked what I'm talking about, and I explained the thumping noises. Then he dropped the bomb and told me, "Jared, I'm not in my apartment. I went home to stay with my family a week ago. Call the cops."
Oh.
It suddenly made a lot more sense, and I realized the noises had stopped ever since I went back to the door. I hung
Someone
up before
broke
saying
in.
Another word and dialed
Someone
911,
freaking
not wasting a
broke
second.
in. No.
As I was on the phone talking to the police operator, I heard it clicking at my bedroom window. Someone was outside trying to lift open the window, which I had just locked earlier. I screamed as I realized it, and then yelled at the operator to hurry with the police. She said they were on their way and asked me to describe the man, but I couldn't. It was too dark. He seemed to hear my conversation, I would guess, and walked away from the window. 4 police officers showed up. I led them to the upstairs apartment where the door was unlocked. I walked in behind the officers, and not much searching needed to be done.
They probably never caught the guy either, did they?
Long graying hair down to his shoulders, who was sitting on the couch, looking up at the ceiling,
Wait, what?
seemingly laughing. When the officers approached him to arrest him, the man focused in on me, still laughing. He started to point at me, and that's when I had to leave because I was too freaked out. I waited until the man was
I thought he would have left.
before talking to
Still
the
there,
officers
apparently.
again.
That's crazy.
I locked Rico's door, and the cops just told me to keep a good eye on the place for the time being. Rico came back the following day to assess what was stolen. He has been staying upstairs since.
So it was not Rico in the apartment. That makes sense. I'm like, what's going on with Rico? But he wasn't even there, so we can't blame Rico. But hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reaction. 3 scary stories that happened while quarantining. Make sure and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, leave a comment down below. Again, like I said at the beginning, if you want to help support the channel and you want to request the next video that I react to, just click the Streamlabs link down in the description. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.